Hello there, class. Today we're going to look at numbering systems, and specifically we're going to get an idea of how those numbering systems work. We have some different numbering systems that we work with, and they have what we call different base values. We're going to understand a little bit about that. So, kind of as a start off, one thing I'd like to kind of define here is this idea of something called the cipher. Now let's consider any number. Let's consider the number 12. Okay, this actually contains two ciphers. The first cipher, of course, here is the number 1, and the other cipher is a 2. And so putting these two digits together make a number that we are familiar with as the number 12. So the cipher is simply a symbol, okay, and you'll see why in just a moment that I'm using the word symbol here. It's a symbol to represent a digit. Okay, so it's a symbol to represent a digit and a number. And again, this uses two different ciphers in it. And so let's continue here. Let's look at some different numbering systems that we might use. So some common numbering systems that we use, the numbering system that we're familiar with is known as the decimal system. This is the one that we're all familiar with. We use every day. When we count in the decimal system. In electronics, in anything that's computer-based, computers run on something called the binary system. And this will make a little bit more sense in a moment here, but we'll talk a little bit about how many ciphers are used in a binary system. There are octal systems, there's hexadecimal systems. In fact, we could come up with many different systems to talk about. All right, so in the decimal system, when we talk about the base that's associated with the decimal system, hopefully you can see this part of the word here, deci. And again, if you know anything about words and whatnot, you'll know that the deci means 10. Okay, so the base that we use in the decimal system is the base 10 system. So sometimes we could call this a decimal system or simply a base 10 system. If you notice here the word bi, in the binary system, hopefully you understand that bi means 2. And so a binary system is a base 2 system. Hopefully if you're seeing a pattern here, you'll see that the word oct is in here. So think about octopus or anything with an octagon, okay? And you'll know that the base used for an octal system is 8. Okay, now this one's a little bit tricky, but deci is 10, and then hex, if you think about a hex is actually a hexagon, is 6 sides. So there's going to be 16 here for this. So hexadecimal is a base 16 system. Now, as far as the ciphers used, okay, there's going to be 10 ciphers used in a base 10 system. Those ciphers are the familiar ciphers that we're familiar with. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not a 6. Let's try that again. 6, 7, 8, and 9. So notice there's 1 cipher, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ciphers that we use in a system. And of course, once we get to the 10th cipher, we have to do something, and that will make sense here in just a moment when we get into more about how systems count up. In a binary system, there are only 2 ciphers used. Those 2 ciphers are 0 and 1. We run out of ciphers at the end of that. We're not allowed to use the cipher of 2, the cipher of 3, or any of these other ciphers. Hopefully you're starting to see a pattern, but our ciphers that we use here are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And once we use those 8 ciphers, we have run out of ciphers to use. In a hexadecimal system, we use the same ciphers. In fact, let me just here, I think I can copy these ciphers right there. Copy that Let me see. Well, oh, it didn't. All right, let's undo that. All right, I'll just write them out. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you'll notice those are 10 different ciphers, but this is a hexadecimal system. It has a base of 16. We are allowed to use 16 ciphers in this system. The problem is we've run out of the familiar digits or those familiar ciphers that we use. So in a hexadecimal system, we actually continue to use the next logical thing, and that's letters. So the cipher A is used as a cipher in the system. B, C, D, E. Okay, let's see if we have 16 here. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We don't have quite enough ciphers yet, so we're going to use the cipher F. And this completes the number of ciphers used in the hexadecimal system.